You join us today in the Lincolnshire countryside at Cadwell Park. They're often described as Britain's answer to the mini Nürburgring, and Lyndsay, qualifying in the Mazda B race was quite exciting.
It was, Lloyd. Actually, what had happened was Sam Smith, as you all know, was a championship contender last year, was actually knocked out with a bit of an incident with Adam Bessel. Again, somebody that we expect to be a bit high up there in the grid. So they're starting at the back of the track for the B grid, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, we wouldn't normally expect to see them in the B race, so this is going to be exciting to see how they go through the race. To talk us through that, it's over to Andy McEwan.
Yeah, thanks guys. Well, we'll keep an eye on those two from the back of the grid. At the front of the grid, though, it's Richard Wotton on pole position with Christina Holly alongside. Bryn Griffiths and Thomas Jenkins next, ahead of Jack Moody and Oliver Jenkins, with Clive Chisnall, Bruce Robinson, Adrian Johnson and Graham Rumsey rounding out the top 10. Michael Nibbs and Stuart Ross French are next, ahead of Christian Dan and Jake Stiles, then Christopher Ginn and Charlie Rawls, with Thomas Mallet and Toby Owen on the ninth row of the grid. Row 10, Aaron Dinapola and Adam Tyrrell, then Adam Tyler with Jonathan Fields then next, ahead of Richard Bartlett and Ashley Heath, and there at the back of the grid, Adam Bessel and Sam Smith. So we'll keep an eye on those two from the back. At the front though, the black and yellow striped car is Richard Wotton. He is on pole position. The blue and silver alongside, or purple and silver alongside, is Christina Holly. As the lights go out, we're away and racing, and a good start made by the red number 56 car of Thomas Jenkins from the inside of row number 2 as well. Goes on the grass around the outside of Christina Holly, who suddenly didn't seem to accelerate quite as quickly as she should have been, and a few cars behind having to take avoiding action as they rush up towards turn number 1, on board with Bruce Robinson looking backwards, and there is the 222 car of Adrian Johnson. So Adrian, who started 9th, is slipping outside the top 10 now in the early stages. Wotton leads the way though. Griffiths in second place, third place for Thomas Jenkins. So Christina Holly has been the big loser here, really. Side-by-side action there, 82 and 26. 26 is Charlie Rawls, 82 Michael Nibbs, who started in front of him. And then I think that pale blue and white car was Adam Bessel from the back of the grid, already inching up towards the top 15 or so. There he is on the outside line. The second pale blue and white car is Jake Stiles, and somewhere in amongst all of that is the white and red of Sam Smith. There towards the tail end of the field is number 34, that's Adam Tyrrell, rounding Park Corner. Novice Gross on the back of his car, as Adam, one of the Masters contenders as well, makes his first steps into the world of motor racing. Down the hill though, into Mansfield for the first time, there is Christina Holly then, so she's dropped down into 5th position in the early stages. Oliver Jenkins appears to be the driver behind her. Bryn Griffiths though has the race lead, so Bryn Griffiths somewhere has got past Richard Wotton, who is down to 2nd place. And then 3rd place for Thomas Jenkins. So a bit of shuffling in the order here at the front of the field. Further back, that's looks like that's Adam Bessel going around the outside of another car that had been elbowed out wide through the first part of the mountain. And we're into the Hall Bends though, this single file part of the circuit really, but a spectacular part of the circuit it is to watch from, as many spectators are doing here in the afternoon sunshine. So down the hill into the final corner, then completion of the first lap then of race 1B. There's number 45 going through, that's Graham Rumsey. Towards the sharp end for most of the day at Pembrey last time out. In the front right now though is one of our winners from Pembrey, Bryn Griffiths. He won this equivalent race actually at Pembrey, won the first B race of the weekend, went into the A grid then for race 2, before being demoted again into the B grid for race 3 where he finished 8th. Griffiths then out in front of Richard Wotton for the time being. So these two, well, Bryn Griffiths started 3rd on the grid, so he's had a really good opening lap, coming 2nd off the line ahead of Christina Holly, and then somewhere out of our sight picked his way past Richard Wotton as well. Richard though not letting him go, and is trying to stay with him. Up the hill they go. Bryn Griffiths feeling the need to defend slightly there as they turn into Park Corner. And then Thomas Jenkins, who got that rocket ship start but had nowhere to go with it really, because it's such a narrow circuit here at Cadwell, particularly on that run into turn number 1. So drivers who get good starts aren't always able to carry that momentum anywhere. That certainly was the case for Thomas Jenkins, but he did gain 1 position, having gone around the outside of Christina Holly on the grass. That was an entertaining way to get the position, but it did work. Out of Mansfield, back along this, not really a straight, there aren't that many straights that you can call straight around the Cadwell Park circuit. To the brakes now through the mountain, and 3rd place man there, Thomas Jenkins, just missing the apex slightly. There's a gap developing now back to Christina Holly in 5th, who's at the head of that next big queue of cars. So the top 4 pulling away, and don't forget, in these first 2 B races, the top 5 finishers get promoted onto the back of the A grid, so that's really what the fight is for here. And if these leading 4 pull out a big enough lead over everybody else, they may be tempted just to work together at least until the final few laps and then sort it out amongst themselves. The last thing they really need to be doing is battling early on and then finding themselves losing time to the cars behind, or worse still, going off the road, especially since they know that the likes of Sam Smith and Adam Bessel are likely to be sort of carving their way up the order. Bessel already is into the top 10, I can tell you, in about 7th or 8th position, so Adam Bessel from 25th on the grid is really making storming progress here after that contact that he had with Sam Smith in qualifying. He or Sam able to set a time, unfortunately, so they've got lots of work to do here. Bessel, he's in this full championship as well, so any points he can get are going to be really, really crucial. The race victory will be the bare minimum that he's hoping for, really, out of this race, and then try to work his way up into the top 10 in the second day race tomorrow morning. So out of the double apex right-hander here, first right-hander at Park, and then the double apex right-hander at Chris Curve, I should say, on board with Clive Chisnall. In front of us there, the blue and white car on the grass is Adam Bessel, going for 5th position now, up the inside of Christina Holly. And Christina gets sort of elbowed out offline going into the gooseneck. That's going to hold everybody up, and it could allow Clive Chisnall actually to make a move here as well. Yes, it will. He goes up the inside here of Oliver Jenkins, and I think he's going to go through. So Clive Chisnall up the inside. Jenkins tries to fight back on the exit of the corner though. Careful, boys, you don't want to be making contact down here. There is the white and red number 57 of Jenkins on the outside line. And is he going to go through? No, because Chisnall has the inside line for the entrance to the mountain and does finally now assert his authority. That was a great example there of how, in a pack as tightly bunched as these MX-5 packs tend to be, if you go for a move and it doesn't work, you can end up losing positions rather than gaining them. That is exactly what just happened there to Oliver Jenkins, so a place lost for him. The yellow 82 there is Michael Nibbs, back on board with Clive Chisnall as he now comes up onto the tail of Christina Holly's number 66 car. Lots of work at the wheel there, trying to combat the understeer through the final corner. Adam Bessel, though, has gone, hasn't he? He's already rocketed away from this group. Yellow flags there across the start-finish line. So there must be somebody off somewhere, either on the run across the start-finish line or through turn 1, not entirely sure. Yellow flags out at the first corner as well, so someone's gone missing. Not sure whether it's one of the leaders or not. I think it is. I think it's someone from further down the order. Adam Tyler, I believe, may have gone missing, so the reason for our yellow flags, hopefully not a reason for the first safety car of the weekend, because we'd like to keep this racing going if we could, because it's very entertaining. Clive Chisnall there, the silver and green car with the red wheels, now pulling to the outside of Christina Holly, then this for 6th position. Tries to go right round the outside and does it as well, nicely done. And Oliver Jenkins will now try once again to get past Christina, who defended her position valiantly through this part of the circuit a lap ago. Lost that one position to Adam Bessel, but managed to stem the flow at just one place loss. She's now lost another to Clive Chisnall, who started 7th on the grid. There's just not room up the inside there, and there's a bit of a tap in the tail there. Christina Holly will run a bit wide as a result. Now look at this, Adam Bessel for 3rd position already. This has been a remarkable drive from Adam from the back of the grid, and he goes up the inside of Thomas Jenkins, who could lose another spot here if he's not too careful. That looks as though it might be Jack Moody who's trying to come through. In the end, is not able to do it and loses traction up the hill, maybe Mr. Gear even as well there. So those two drop back. It's now a 3-car fight for the race lead. Bryn Griffiths has it. Richard Wootton wants it in 2nd. I think the man most likely to get it is Adam Bessel in 3rd place, because he's rocketed onto their tail within less than a lap of getting into 5th place. He's already into 3rd, now he's into 2nd place. That was a real peach of a move up the inside through the final corner. I can count on the fingers of one hand the amount of successful overtakes I've seen at that corner. Bessel is through, so he's into 2nd position now. And there is a sense of inevitability about this. I don't think it will take him too much longer to get through past our race leader, Bryn Griffiths. And in a way, there really isn't that much sense in Bryn fighting him too hard, because Bessel is clearly quicker than this lot, as you'd expect from someone who all season long has been a regular feature at the top half of the A grids. If it hadn't been for that qualifying issue, I have to imagine that Bessel would not even be in this race. He'd be in the A race from the start of the weekend. So if Bryn would start really defending and really getting to it here with Adam, then he could end up costing himself dearly. He just wants a top 5 finish, really. Obviously he wants the win, but a podium would be nice, and a top 5 is the essential to get out of this race, get promoted into the A grid and then go from there. Bryn wants his 2nd B win of the year. There's a gap up the inside line though. Is Bessel late enough on the brakes? Yes, he is. Sends it down the inside. Surely he won't get the car stopped though. Well, he does, just about. He's wide over the curb, but that was a real graphic indication there of what a bit more experience and confidence in the car will do for you. It looked as though Adam Bessel had braked so late that he wasn't going to make the corner, but he did make the corner, and he makes the place as well. So he's into the race lead now, and Adam Bessel should really be able to pull away, because Sam Smith has not been able to make the same sort of meteoric progress through the field that Adam has. Indeed, it's not even certain that Sam is going to make it into the top 5, so he's going to have to, that's going to be the next point of interest, I think. Try and see if we can locate Sam Smith in the red and white number 6 car. Spot him here as they slide their way through the final corner. There he is, that's Sam Smith, just ahead of Clive Chisnall, so he's making progress and just be into the top 5 now as well. Bruce Robinson as he slides his way downhill. That looks like Michael Nibbs behind us. Seen the effect there of the toe. Michael isn't even fully in the slipstream there. Poking his nose out to the left-hand side, but still closing in. And then when he does duck into line, he gains so much speed. It's like he selects extra gear. But that is what the slipstream does in these cars. There's a bit of a breeze around, a bit of a headwind that can further exaggerate that slipstream effect. Possibly that's what happened there. But Michael Nibbs goes through. Bruce Robinson loses a position. But he'll now, of course, try and use the slipstream himself to close back in. There they go, you can see in the mirror there's a car closing in behind us though, and again you're a sitting duck, and he's waving him through. Yes, he is. So Bruce Robinson possibly then has some sort of a problem here, because through will go Adrian Johnson in the 222 car without any fight at all. So Bruce Robinson possibly destined for the pit lane, or he may just try and limp home with whatever issue he has. So about halfway through this one now, Adam Bessel already has worked his way from 25th on the grid to the race lead, and is, unsurprisingly really, stretching away from the rest of the pack. Bryn Griffiths is still second. Third looks still to be Richard Wootton. Keeping an eye out for Sam Smith, as I think he might now be about to latch onto their tail. The rest of the field working their way through. There is Bruce Robinson, so he's still going in the white number 90 car. I'm not sure what the issue is there, something intermittent perhaps. There is Sam Smith, so he's 6th. Sam Smith is 6th, and he's closing in on the top 5, so a promotion spot looks as though it will be going the way of the runner-up from the championship last year. Came so desperately close to the title, missing out when he slipped off on someone else's oil. He and his championship rival Will Blackwell Chambers both going off in that championship side at Donington. Only one of them rejoined from the gravel track though, and that was Blackwell Chambers, not Sam Smith. And in the end, it was that, and not the head-to-head race that we were hoping for, that decided the title. It's a shame that Sam is not back for a full season campaign this year though, because I'm sure he will feel that he had some scores to settle, but it's the way it is. We're grateful to have him back here for this one round, and I believe there is some talk of him perhaps being tempted back out for the rest of the season. Realistically, it's too late for him to build up a championship challenge, but more race victories could be a potential for him. Side-by-side action here then, that's Christina Holly continuing unfortunately to slip backwards slightly here, and she has to give way on this occasion to, who's that going through, 26, Charlie Rawls, I think. Charlie Rawls from 16th on the grid, and yeah, it was Charlie who's just gone past Christina now, so he's well inside the top 10. Through Bruce Robinson, through Chris Curve. See the way the road just undulates and twists and turns. It's a completely blind leap of faith there through the left-hand part of the gooseneck. Then down the hill, bit of locking up from Michael Nibbs there up the road, and it's good to all get rather interesting. The black car just behind Michael Nibbs is Adrian Johnson, who we saw passing Bruce a lap and a bit ago. Robinson, in fairness, doesn't seem to have an issue, does he? I think he maybe just realised that Adrian was quicker than him. Although Bruce actually out-qualified Adrian by 1 position in qualifying, so in theory, the hands off the wheel and a shake of the head, so he's not happy with something. I don't know what the problem is here for Bruce. Maybe a gearbox issue, maybe just not happy with the setup of the car, but either way, it's a pretty frustrated Bruce Robinson that we ride on board with now. Further up the road though, this is the fighting going on inside the top 5, and for 5th position there, Sam Smith looking up the inside of Jack Moody. Has he gone through? No, still can't quite prise the door open. This is the battle just in front of them as well for 3rd place, so the top 2, the race leader Adam Bessel has gone. Bryn Griffiths is starting to pull away in 2nd place as well though, so it's really all about the fight for the bottom step of the podium right now. Richard Wootton in 3rd position at the moment, Thomas Jenkins 4th, Jack Moody 5th, and Sam Smith trying his best to get into a promotion spot here, and he sees a gap at the inside of Jack Moody into Park Corner. Moody locks up the brakes though, gets into the side of Thomas Jenkins, and they're both off the road, and they're both therefore or one of them at least, is going to drop outside of the top 5, and that man, unfortunately, is going to be the innocent victim of all of that. Thomas Jenkins, as is so often the way, the man who had nothing to do with the initial incident, is the one that really loses out. He's going to lose another spot now to Clive Chisnall as well. Jack Moody, so focused was he, I think, on defending his 5th position from Sam Smith, locked up, got into the side of Thomas Jenkins, and they both went off the road. Jenkins, though, rotated, and that's what lost him even more ground. So that means Bryn Griffiths is still 2nd, Richard Wotton is still 3rd, but Sam Smith is now into 4th position. I don't think he's done yet. The podium may well beckon for the runner-up in last year's championship. It's in the slipstream now, Richard Wotton, as they come down the hill. Sam didn't often have to deal with B races last year, but he has had experience of racing in these B races. He knows how frenetic it can get, and you've got to exercise caution when you know that you are quicker than the drivers around you and also more experienced. It's tempting sometimes just to dive upon every opportunity that presents itself, but they might not see you coming, they might not be ready, they might be that preoccupied in their own battles that they can turn in and cause contact. You've just got to be careful with them. Carefully is the way in which Sam has just got 3rd position there. Gets himself ahead of Richard Wotton and now sets off after Bryn Griffiths up the road. Sam Smith, you can see there sporting that blue body panel on the front left of the car. That's not the original livery on that car. And of course, as a result of the issues in contact, issues in qualifying, speaking of contact though, this is Oliver Jenkins and Christina Holly there leaning on each other. Christina and Oliver, in fact, have both continued to slip down the order, because Christina, we know, started 2nd, but Oliver started 6th, and he's not running 6th now. For 2nd place, though, this is Sam Smith, maybe with his opportunity to get up the inside of Bryn Griffiths down to the mountain. No, Bryn is late enough on the brakes, just about gets it into the corner. Sam Smith with a better exit there over the crest. The cars get airborne briefly, but just almost lost Sam a bit of momentum. He wasn't quite able to. If you can get to the inside line and fully alongside into the wall bends, then you can make an overtake there, but it's easier said than done. And if you're only sort of halfway alongside, it's very easy to make contact, and then you're both in the barriers, so important to take good care with any overtakes you attempt at that part of the circuit. Now he's back alongside though, is he? No, not quite. Griffiths doing his best to hang on here, and we're into the closing stages now of this first B race as well, so if he can just keep on occupying the middle ground and stop Sam Smith getting up the inside anywhere, there's half a chance that Bryn Griffiths could hold on to this 2nd position. One of the best overtaking opportunities on the circuit there is coming up, and Sam Smith had a good exit from Charlie's. I was about to say that if he gets in the slipstream up the Park Straight, he could have a lunge at the top of the hill. I don't think he needs to have a lunge, because he's fully alongside already as a result of that superior exit speed from the double apex right-hander. He's up the inside line, and Sam Smith is going to go through. Yes, nicely done. And in fact, Richard Wotton tries to take advantage of the door being opened by Sam Smith, and he puts his foot in that door and tries to get up the inside at Chris Curve. The road keeps on going right here, but the wider, more sweeping line carries a bit more momentum from Bryn Griffiths, and he's able to hang on to 3rd. And I expect Sam Smith should now have the pace to pull away from these two. So Bessel and Smith from the back row of the grid look like they're going to finish 1st and 2nd in this B race. Oh, Sam's still pushing on though, out on the grass there as they came out of Mansfield. Be careful doing that, they get in all sorts of trouble for exceeding track limits. If you continue to do it, not only do you get warned for it, but you can have time added onto your race, and that would potentially put drivers outside of this top 5, which is so important. Sam relishing the clean air, and this will be a bit of a test session now for him to figure out what, if anything, needs changing on the car for the race, for the A race tomorrow. Because of course, he didn't get a lap in qualifying, nor did Adam Bessel, so this is the first real track time they've had this weekend. Chisnell, stretching of tyres as they come into view there. 57 is Oliver Jenkins going up the inside of Michael Nibs at the final corner. They almost lean on each other. Nibs is going to try and hang his ground there though. This is all going on behind Clive Chisnell, who is at the head of that particular queue. In the car run by BC Cars Motorsport, on to its final lap of the race then. Race 1B has been an entertaining affair. We've seen 2 very quick drivers carving through from the back of the grid, but that has far from been the only source of entertainment in this one. There's been the usual plethora of battling up and down the order, and it's not quite done yet, as Clive Chisnell is going to have to watch his mirrors here to try and keep the baying pack at bay. Look, immediately, as soon as he comes out of Charlie's, moves over to the right-hand side of the road. He knows he has to defend. As the cars behind will attack up the inside if they can. They may choose to attack up the outside, and indeed I think they might be, because that is a move being attempted there by Charlie Rawls. who's already gained great ground in this race, and whilst he's going to miss out on a top 5 finish in this one, he's got to be one of the favourites to make it into a promotional spot in race 2. Keep an eye on that tomorrow when the second B race grid's up. He's going to be somewhere near the front. Of course, at the very front of the second B grid will be the 5 relegated drivers from the first A race, so they arguably start as the favourites, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly how it all works itself out over the course of these 6 Mazda MX-5 Championship races this weekend. 3 A races, 3 B races. Let's bring Griffiths then through the Hall Bends for the final time. Adam Bessel well on his way to a victory. There's Sam Smith in second position. Griffiths third and fourth. That's the battle that's going to go right down to the wire, but I don't think that Wootton's going to be able to do it. Out of the final corner they come. Nope, it's going to stay as it was. So Adam Bessel takes the victory in our first B race of the weekend. Second place goes the way of Sam Smith, and Bryn Griffiths is in third with Richard Wootton in fourth position. Really nice battle between the two of them. It was for the lead for most of that race until Bessel and Smith came along, and they were not easy passes either to make for those two. Hats off to the rest of the B grid competitors for really putting up a fight. So confirmation then, Bessel, Smith, Griffiths, Wootton and Jack Moody will be your promoted drivers to the A grid tomorrow. Driver Chisnall just misses out, so too Charlie Rawls, Thomas Jenkins, Michael Nibbs and Christina Holly rounds up the top 10 in the end after her poor start. Adam Tyler is the only non-finisher, so he will therefore have to start at the back of the grid again for tomorrow's B race, while Sam Smith, on this charge through the field to second place, sets the fastest lap.